Dear students, good morning to all. Today we are going to learn the characteristics of watershed and which are the specific characteristics of watershed we have to see. So, in this lecture, we have to cover size, shape, and physiography of the watershed. So, let us see what is this and how it is important. There is a variation in the characteristics of watershed. There are many things by which there is differences in the characteristics of watershed. As you know that the every watershed is different from one another because its location determines, its height determines, its area determines, and its size, shape, and overall characteristics of the particular watershed determines the differences from one another. So, how these are differ and why these characteristics are important, we have to see. The first character is size. The size of any watershed is determined by the physiography of the area. As you know that even physiography is also uneven. Somewhere there is the mountains, somewhere there is a plain, and somewhere there is a plateaus. Somewhere there is a coastal areas are also. If the area is undulated, there is a possibility of formation of more watershed, by which there is a formation of small sized watershed. This is the fact that if the watershed lies in the mountainous area, example is Konkan region or the Konkan rivers watershed, because due to the heavy slope, high slope, there is a formation of more watersheds, and due to that in the small area, if the watershed forms in many numbers, then obviously the size get decreased or size get reduced. So there is many number or more number is there of the watershed in the Konkan rivers, means in the mountainous area. If the area is plain, then there is a formation of large size watershed. Example, watershed in plain area are large size, that is Gangetic basins. As you know that North Plain of India have many rivers, but their size, their volume is more as compared to the mountainous rivers. Northernmost part, if we consider northernmost part of Himalaya, then there is a small size basins, while as we come down in the plain area, then we come to know that there is a large size watersheds are there. If we think about the size of any watershed, how we can determine whether it is small, whether it is medium, or whether it is large? There is some criteria, and how these criteria are useful to determine the sizes of the watershed, we have to see. Small size means up to 250 square kilometer area. If that watershed have, then it considered as a small size watershed. If the area of the watershed is from 250 square kilometer to 2500 square kilometer, then it is considered as a medium size watershed. If the area of the watershed is more than 2500 square kilometer, then that area is considered as large size watershed. This is in general, but if we see how and what criteria are there to determine the size of watershed in particular, these criteria are as follows. For easy management, generally 500 hectare is taken as a watershed unit. Suppose we have to do the study of any watershed, and we have an interest to do the specific study of the watershed, then we have to select the watershed which having the area of 500 hectares. So this is a ideal area for the specific study of the watershed. So this is the criteria by which we can understand which type of watershed is there. So watershed type, area in hectares. If the area is below than 50,000 hectare, then that watershed is called as macro watershed. If the area is in between 10,000 to 50,000 hectare, then that watershed is called as sub watershed. Example of this is macro watershed means Godavari river is a macro watershed, while as Kadwa river or the Kolwan river is the Vaitarna river is the sub watershed. Milli watershed, the area having 1000 to 10,000 hectare is considered as milli watershed. And the next is area having 100 to 1000 hectare is considered as micro watershed. And the last is from 1 hectare to 100 hectare area of watershed is considered as mini watershed. So this is all about the criteria or particular criteria to determine the size of the watershed. So size is the important characteristics of watershed. Next is shape. Size, as size is important, similarly shape is also important. The shape of watershed affect the shape of its hydrograph characteristics, because how is the shape and where the water flows, that determines the hydrograph characteristics. Example, a long shape watershed generates for the same rainfall a lower outlet flow as the concentration time is higher. Very simple example is there. If the watershed is elongated in shape, then although the rainfall is less, but it get more time to flow to the for the water, and that's why there is a more possibility of draining the water. So a watershed having fan shape presents a lower concentration time and it generates higher flow. Many geomorphological indices are used to determine the shape of the watershed. The most used index is Gravillius index. Gravillius identified how is the shape of any watershed and how we can determine the shape of any watershed with the help of Gravillius index. It is the relation between the perimeter of watershed and that of a circle having surface equal to that of watershed. To calculate the Gravillius index, we require watershed area in the square kilometer and P means watershed perimeter, that is in the kilometer. So how we can determine the shape or how we can calculate the shape, we have to see. So shape according to Gravillius index. In the previous slide, we have seen that to calculate the shape of any watershed using Gravillius index, we require watershed area in square kilometer. We should know the area of watershed, and at the same time we should know the watershed perimeter. Perimeter means this is the perimeter. This is the perimeter of the watershed, and overall area. This is the overall area. Though if we know these two things, we can calculate the shape of the watershed. So according to Gravillius index, there are various shapes of watershed. First shape is KG16, means this is 1, this width is 1, while as length is 6. So kg according to Gravillius index, kg is equal to 1/6. Next one is kg is equal to 1/3. This is 1 and this is 3. So Gravillius index calculation is 1/3. kg 1/2. This is 1 and this is 2. So kg is equal to 1,2, and this is 1 by kg is equal to 1 or 1. So this is also 1. What is the width of the watershed is equal to the length of watershed. Actually this watershed is considered as an ideal watershed shape. So although there is no availability of ideal watershed everywhere, because this shape is determined by the physiography of that particular area. And so if we want to find out the ideal water shape, we have to use the Gravillius index to calculate the shape of any watershed. Next characteristic is physiography. Physiography includes plains, mountains, and plateaus. The watershed lies in the physiographical divisions have different characteristics. Physiography determine height, orientation, and slope of watershed. As I have already told you, physiography of any watershed differs from region to region and from place to place, because there is everywhere there is the plains, mountains, and plateaus which are distributed unevenly, and that's why every watershed, if it is in the mountain, have different characteristics. If it is in the plain, it have different characteristics, and if it lies in the plateaus, it have different physiographic characteristics. The most important characteristic in the physiography is height. The extreme height of the watershed, such as minimum and maximum, are obtained as a starting step for topographic maps. The maximum height is the elevation of the highest point of the watershed, while the minimum height is the elevation of the lowest point, this being generally the outside section of the watershed. These values determine the altimetry amplitude of watershed and help to calculate the slope. As you know that there is the unevenness of the physiography, and that's why height is very important factor in the in the characteristics of watershed. Suppose if we take any topo sheet and if we found a highest point in that particular topo sheet, that considered as a highest point or a high point of that watershed, and at the same time if we find the lowest point in the topo sheet, that point is considered or that point is taken as a lower point or below point of that watershed. Next characteristics is orientation. The orientation of watershed affect the melting speed of snow. How it orient towards north, towards south, towards east, or towards west. In which direction this watershed is spread or this watershed is lie. So that determines the orientation. Watershed developed especially in north-south direction have an alternative exposure to sun rays. Example is Himalayan and Alps watershed. The melting speed of snow thus being smaller than in cases of watersheds developed towards east-west. Example is Rocky and Andes watershed. For a precise determination of the influence of watershed orientation, it is necessary to know the direction and frequency of the dominant wind. In the next slide, we can see this orientation. So this is about the orientation. This is north-south oriented, north-south facing watershed or north-south orientation, and this is west to east facing orientation or east-west facing watershed. So how this orientation helpful, or how this orientation differ from this. So if the orientation is north-south, means this like this in this direction, north to south or south to north, then there is more possibility of melting of snow, and that's why the snow melts easily, because there is the more exposure to the sun rays or to the heat, and temperature get increased over here, and that's why that in this orientation of watershed there is a more flow of water. While as if the east and west facing watershed is there, then there is a less exposure to the sun, less exposure to the temperature, and that's why this watershed receives less temperature or low temperature, and that's why there is a less possibility of melting of snow. Not only this, but direction and frequency of dominant wind. How frequently the dominant winds are flowing over there, that also determine the melting process of snow, and that's why this physiographic characteristic, that is orientation, is also important characteristics in the watershed. So This is all about the orientation. Slope. Next characteristics is slope. Watershed average slope provides information about the watershed topography. It is an independent variable because it does not lie or it does not depend on another. That's why it is independent. The average slope of watershed affect radically the value of the time of concentration and directly the runoff generated by rainfall. If the slope is very steep, the water flow very rapidly. If the slope is gentle, the water flows slowly. Many methods have been developed to estimate the average slope of the watershed. The method proposed by Carlier and Lackler in 1964 consists of calculating the weighted mean of all the elementary surfaces that exist between two contour lines. He both have formulated one formula to calculate the slope of watershed, that is formula for the same is d dot l divided by l. I dot e means average slope of the watershed in the percentage. D means the equidistance between the two consecutive contour lines. Consecutive means if we consider one contour line, after that which contour line is lie there, that is called as consecutive. And the L is the total length of the contour lines, that is in kilometer, and the A means surface of the watershed, that is in the square kilometer. So if we know all these things or all these values, then we can calculate the slope of any watershed. Not only this formula is useful to calculate the slope, but many softwares are there, particularly ArcGIS and QGIS, by which we can calculate the slope of any watershed, and that slope help us to know the flow of the water, and by which we know the physical characteristics of the slope. So this is all about the three characteristics of watershed. Now today we stop here. Thank you very much.